Budget airline Tiger Air is currently contacting hundreds of its passengers from multiple flights who may have been exposed to coronavirus as an international public health emergency is declared. The passengers travelled on 13 different flights operated by the same Tiger Air aircraft to destinations including Cairns, Brisbane, the Gold Coast, Melbourne, Adelaide and Perth since Monday. There are now 9 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Australia, including 2 people in Queensland.
In the last few minutes, the World Health Organisation has declared the coronavirus a public health emergency. Infections from the virus have now surpassed the SARS outbreak in the early 2000s, and foreigners are being evacuated from China. Australia is planning to remove up to 600 of its citizens from Wuhan, and Australia is doing that, and sending them to Christmas Island for quarantine. We'll have the latest from our reporter in a moment, but first, here's part of that announcement from the World Health Organisation.
I'm declaring a public health emergency of international concern over the global outbreak of novel coronavirus. The main reason for this declaration is not because of what is happening in China, but because of what is happening in other countries. Our greatest concern is the potential for the virus to spread to countries with weaker health systems and which are ill prepared to deal with it.
With more, reporter Lara Himes joins us from Sydney. Lara, fast-moving developments this morning. Let's start with that WHO decision. What does it actually mean?
Well, as we heard with that announcement, it has now been declared an emergency, and that is mainly because of the way that it is spreading and how it's spreading, and of course going to countries which could be particularly vulnerable to this particular strain of coronavirus. Now, in Australia, there are 9 confirmed cases of the virus. We still have 2 in New South Wales that are being treated here at Westmead Hospital, but the other 2 that were being housed here have been released after it was determined that they were medically clear to go home after testing positive for that particular virus. Now, the latest 2 cases are out of Queensland. We do know that the man that tested positive to that virus yesterday was actually travelling on a Tiger airplane from Melbourne to the Gold Coast, and another woman who was also on board that flight has tested positive to the virus after she began to feel symptoms, went and sought medical attention, and that's when the confirmation came about. Now, we've spoken to Tiger Air this morning, and in terms of the timeline for this flight was actually on Monday the 27th of January, and it was only yesterday that they became aware of the cases of coronavirus of the 2 people that had been travelling on that particular aircraft, on their aircraft. So since from that, we do know that that plane has made subsequent flights around Australia since Monday. Yesterday, the plane was pulled from service and another plane was brought in to substitute at that. It did cause brief delays in Melbourne, about 90 minutes or so for passengers. But we have been told by Tiger Air this morning that they have sought medical advice. They say that anyone who was travelling on that aircraft, from the advice that they had received, would be at low risk for a chance of contamination for that particular virus. They are in the process of contacting all those passengers, working with Queensland Health as well, all those passengers who had been on that particular aircraft since Monday, and those subsequent flights, they're still in the process of that.
Lara Himes, thank you.